Hear ye. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Dukes of Gaming. You already know it's your boy, the host, Thomas, the Duke of Anime. And it's good to be here for another installment. We're down two Dukes, but we got two Dukes. So it's all good. First and foremost, we have the Duke of Education. How are you doing, Alfredo?
I'm doing good. I'm sitting by this window in Georgia. It's usually like 80 degrees in my room because I live like on the seventh floor of my apartment building. So even when it's cold, it's pretty insulated because heat rises and all that. But it's pretty cold in here,
Oh,
probably
no.
due to the snowstorm that isn't
I,
happening where I'm at, but that's sweeping the nation. So I'm kind of
yeah,
chilly. Need a
I
jacket.
got a little bit of it as well. I got maybe an inch of snow. It's not that cold,
Mm.
but my
Yeah.
sister's struggling. She's in Massachusetts, pretty bad up there. So
I'm just
Godspeed,
complaining about the wind when we have zero point 0.2 inches and it's gone by morning. So there's no snow here. It's just cold. And by
jealous,
cold, I mean like 30 degrees outside.
jealous. And of course, we have the Duke of Nostalgia. How are you, Taylor?
I'm good. Good. Alfredo, how do you
Yeah.
get things in your apartment? How do you get
I,
stuff?
do you mean to the all the way to the sixth floor?
Yeah.
I have a special elevator just for me and my stuff.
Oh,
I rent it out.
that's
I'm
pretty cool.
special.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wish
For
I had
Really?
an elevator.
elevators.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
lucky
like in
you.
our Carly where they've got the elevator in the house.
Yeah, that's
Oh
me.
wow.
That
Dang.
actually was my apartment, and they just asked to use it for the show.
Oh, that makes sense. I remember that cool shield behind you, whatever it is. I've seen it before.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
I guess
probably
that one
iCarly.
time it
It's
was
probably
pretty
iCarly.
awesome.
Never thought I'd hear the name iCarly ever again, but here we are. Here we are. So of course, it's good to be here this week talking about video games. And we have to ask the age-old question: what have we been playing this week? Alfredo, you can go ahead and start.
Oh boy, what have I been playing? So I've been playing VR. I usually only play this little game called Alt Space on VR, which is like more of a social experiment where you have a little avatar, you're going to nightclubs, you're going to karaoke, you're talking with other virtual people. So like metaverse prototype, basically. Think of that. So I usually just hop on there from time to time, play some VR games, simple VR games as well. But this week, a game that I have eagerly been anticipating came out, technically in early access. So I've been waiting for a game called Zenith, the Lost City, to come out because this was first showcased, I believe, at a PlayStation VR showcase. Well, to tell the whole story, it was actually first announced on Kickstarter and it was funded and it was supposed to be the one of the first, if not the first, virtual reality MMOs where you can think sword art online, but without everything happening in your mind. It's just virtual reality instead of all in your mind.
Yeah.
So it's the sword art online precursor is what it's supposed to be. So I didn't know when it was coming out earlier this week. I looked it up and I was pleasantly surprised that they decided they want to release it in early access on Tuesday, this earlier Tuesday. Or it was Thursday, one of these days. Anyway, I decided to get it and play it, and wow, it is everything that I never thought we would get this early. Looking at what VR can be in the future, as far as where we are now and where Sword Art Online is, where you have an MMO that you're doing everything in game. This game is really incredible for what it's able to achieve at such an early prototype. The dream is that you can be, a blade fighter in this MMO. You can be a mage, and you can do that. So right now they only have two classes, which is Blade Master and which is with swords, and then you can be a mage, and they have different specializations in there. But what blows my mind is that as a sword user, they have a parry system, they have a guard system, they have special abilities. For mages, they have a gesture system, which basically says, okay, I want to cast a spell and I'm gonna say this spell is gonna be translated to me holding this button down and going up, and that will activate a certain spell. Going down will activate a certain spell. Left and right, they have that, and it works very seamlessly. Like everything, I'm incredibly impressed at how well it works, just from an MMO perspective. So I was playing it earlier. I probably played about 4 hours so far, and it's blowing my mind, honestly. I can't say enough high praises about this game that is in early access and is the first virtual reality MMO that we've gotten. And it makes me really, really excited for what MMOs have to look what we have to look forward to in the future from MMOs, because this is only the first one and there's gonna be more. But what this game has is incredible. So, like I said, it has the classes, it has all of the systems. The quests are pretty much the standard MMO. They have some fetch quests, some kill people. The quests don't really make this game what it is. It's the fact that you're in the world. And what is most impressive about it is what VR can do to it. So you're actually talking to people. Like you're talking to people in this world and you're saying, "Hey, I need to kill this. Can you help me?" And people are like, "Yeah, let's go kill them." So you just team up with random people like you're in this VR world, because you are, and you take down a boss together. I was in a dungeon today because I had no idea where to go. So I asked the other people, "Hey, do you guys know where this cave is? Because I don't know where to go." And they were like, "Yeah, it's this way. I'll lead you." So we go all the way to the dungeon. We get in there, and along the way, everybody's trying to beat the boss. So we all gather. Me as a healer, because I like healing classes. I'm usually a healing main. So I'm healing everyone up, and there's about 20 of us total. And we just storm through this dungeon, which is more like a raid of sorts. It's pretty early in the game, but we're storming through this dungeon. We're literally dodging, ducking, weaving through sword fights, all of the hordes that are coming our way. We're getting to the boss. We're rezzing people as they go down. Like it's crazy, because this is everything that happens in an MMO, but because you're actually there and in it and doing it, and it feels good, it feels fun, it feels like, oh, I'm actually a mage, as crazy as that sound. Oh, I'm actually like a fighter. Like it's just incredible. Everybody should play this game if you have access to a virtual reality helmet. It's only in early access, so it's in very early stages, but from what they have, it's amazing. I think you guys should play this game, especially if you are fans of Sword Art Online, and that's what you're looking forward to, because that is what this game is, really.
So my first question is, how's the movement? Like, how does that work exactly?
Yeah, so the movement is stereotypical virtual reality. So I'm playing on an Oculus Quest 2, which is wireless. The graphics look pretty okay for being wireless. I heard they're even better on PC VR. But as far as movement, I just press up, left, right, down on thumbstick to move. And then you have different abilities depending what class and subclass that you are. So mages, certain mages, like the one I'm playing, the healing mage, they have a teleport ability. So they can do that sometimes. So they can, usually hold down B, point where they're going, and then teleport there. Other classes can hit a button to make them travel faster, but mostly you're just literally walking. But this game also has flying. So what they do is that they have a Breath of the Wild like stamina meter, and you can literally climb anything exactly how you would climb a real mountain. So you hold a button, you can climb anything at all. Your stamina meter will go down, just like Breath of the Wild. So let's say you climb all the way to the top of a mountain. You can then jump off, hold your arms out like a bird in real life, and you'll start gliding. So
That's
you
cool.
can move
That's super cool.
regularly, you can teleport if you're mage, but you can also anybody can glide as long as you have enough stamina.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
It's awesome.
And so it's worth the $30 because that's how much it costs, right?
Yes. Yeah. They also have zip lines, so you hold the zip line, you go up to the zip line, and then once you're at the top, you can glide wherever you want. This game has a lot to offer.
That's dope. I've been,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
I've been back and forth between whether I'm going to pick it up, because I've made a
Do it.
commitment. I made a commitment. I bought way too many games last year.
Oh, get ready in
I
the next few months because you're in trouble.
Right.
Gonna be
That's the thing.
crazy.
That's the
We
thing.
all.
I had some big purchases I need to make. So I'm like, I am very hesitant to buy anything right now. This is
You
something
need
you
to
think
buy
is
this
worth it?
game. If you have a VR unit, this is what is gonna sell VR. Honestly, like this is the app that is gonna make people
Hmm,
say, "Hey, you need an Oculus for this specific game." That's
Huh,
what this game is.
interesting.
it's awesome.
I might get it on my next paycheck because I was very curious. I looked at the a couple of the videos of the promotional videos for it, and I was like, wow, you can fly, you can, kind of fight real time. That actually seems pretty fucking cool. And I'm glad to hear an actual person kind of give me a stamp of approval for it. So it's kind of you're kind of showing me that it's living up to all it was hyped up to be. Because I've heard about this game for a
Yeah,
little bit. I
it
think
is.
I saw it. I think I saw it at CES. I think I saw
Mhm.
it at maybe some CES footage. So it's good that it's finally out. And even though it's in beta, it seems like it's a pretty substantial experience.
Yeah, I'm shocked that this game actually, like you said, lived up to what it was saying. But yeah, everybody needs to get it. And me as an introvert, I wouldn't think I would want to talk to people. Because in other games like Alt Space VR, I don't really turn on my mic. I don't really talk to people because that is more of a social game. But this is an MMO, and you really need people to, hey, heal me. Hey, I need to get to this place. Can you party out with me to defeat this boss or whatever? And I don't feel the social anxiety playing that game, the same social anxiety playing that game as I do doing alt space, for example. And I think it's because it just seems so natural taking the role of, an adventurer
Well,
in
you
this
like D
place.
and D, right?
Yeah,
So
I
it
do.
kind of feels like it's in that same vein where you're kind of
Yeah,
assuming a role. So I can see that. Yeah, I can see how that's super fun.
it's awesome.
That is good
Play
to
this
hear.
game, please. If you have a VR. And if you don't, go buy an Oculus Quest and
It's
then buy the
only
game.
$330 all
Yeah,
told.
that's it.
It's a steal.
It's a
It's a steal.
steal.
What are you
So it's like a
doing?
McDonald's meal. Come on,
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah, yeah.
Come on, y'all.
It's the Travis Scott burger.
I'm not saying to take your
With
parents'
actual diamonds
wallet
in it.
and credit card, but wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Mark Zuckerberg says buy it. So go ahead and buy it. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm hoping to participate in that hopefully as soon as next week. Hopefully.
Do it.
Clams, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I've been playing Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now that it's out officially. As it officially.
I'm so excited to hear what you have to say
I
about
don't
it.
I don't know
Me
how you
too.
guys want to take
I,
this. How you guys want to
look,
do this?
I've seen some footage, and just to get out the way, I played Death's Door and Nobody Saves the World. Alfredo, you've kind of already talked about Death's Door. Not really much more to say about it. Great game on Game Pass. Go ahead and play it if you haven't played it yet. That's what I've been playing this week. Let's get into the meat and bones of this conversation.
Pokemon.
How do you like Pokemon?
Yes. How'd you like it?
I like Pokimane. I don't really like Pokimane. She's kind of she grates on me, but
I
blood
totally
divinity.
forgot that that's actual person. I'm
I
sorry.
did
It's a
too.
real streamer beef,
Totally
streamer
forgot about
beef,
her.
streamer beef.
Don't start a war between us and
Start a
Pokemon.
streamer beef.
No,
Gina
we're
will
gonna start a
win.
war. I'm all about the chaos. Y'all already know.
Yeah, streamer beef. It's good for
Wow,
views. So
wow.
everyone in chat, go to Pokimane and call her a poo poo head.
At Dukes of Gaming.
At Dukes of Gaming.
Don't do that. Don't listen to him.
No, do it.
Bad
Pokemon.
press is good press. Let's go.
Any press is good press.
Right.
Pokemon Legends Arceus is pretty good. It's pretty good.
Pretty good?
I'm pleasantly surprised. Now, mind you, I've only gotten to the first boss. I've been playing
How many
all
hours is
afternoon.
that?
Probably 4 hours
Okay.
so far.
Sounds
And then I've enjoyed pretty much every moment of it. I'm very excited for the future of Pokemon. I'll put it that way. I might not be the most impressed by this game. There are some glaring issues glaring, and specifically the graphics.
Mhm.
I know that's the big one,
But we
and
knew we knew that going in.
we
though.
knew
knew that
that.
coming in,
It's
but
almost
is
like they telegraphed like these graphics will
Yeah.
be bad.
It will
Yeah.
suck.
it
But it's fine.
it is bad. So much so that like okay, like your character model like does a little bow when they're done talking to someone, and in some lighting, if it's like midday and it's fully bright outside and the lighting is casting in her face and she bows, you can see the pins underneath her
Oh,
character model.
oh.
Just for like a brief second, but it's enough for me to notice and go, "Ooh, oof." What
Oh no.
what they did though is they made all the Pokemon models spot on.
Hmm.
All of the Pokemon models work perfectly. They're cute, they're animated, they are almost realistic. To the
As
extent of
realistic as a Pokemon
as
game.
realistic as a Pokemon game can get. Um, they interact well with the environment. They do silly things. They move well in this game. So I think all of the animation and 3D modeling budget went to making the Pokemon work, because
Mhm.
that's been a big thing in old games. Is the Pokemon, after they moved to 3D, kind of just sort of maintained that 2D. They're a picture quality. They never really did much more. They had like one animation and that was it. They were very static. And that created a lot of like lack of connection. You couldn't connect with Pokemon the same way you could when they were 3D sprites because they looked bad now that they were in 3D.
Oh, you mean 2D sprites when they were like Ruby
Yes. Yeah.
Sapphire? Like that's when I consider like that era, like that Ruby Sapphire, Fire Red, Leaf Green. To me, that's the prime of
Yeah.
Pokemon animation.
You could really attach yourself to these Pokemon because they were, and you knew, you weren't pretending that they weren't anything other than cartoon characters. But the more and more Pokemon goes to 3D, the more and more people want that their Pokemon act like animals. And they do. They do in this game. There's a cute little mechanic where you can throw out your entire team anywhere on the map and they all just sit
Hmm.
around you and start interacting. And it's really cute. They interact
That's
cool.
well.
That's
That's-
cool.
yeah.
That's honestly what I've been waiting for with Pokemon.
Right.
Well, what you've been waiting for, and this, I'll say it, this is the closest Pokemon's ever gotten to the anime.
That's
Yes,
what I'm looking
finally.
for.
Yeah.
I
It
have
only
I have
took
a
us
question. I have a question for you.
decades.
Keep going though.
Yeah.
How do the Pokemon sound?
They don't have, the voice, acting.
The anime
over
voices.
anime voices, but what they do have is updated MIDI sounds.
Okay.
They do sound better.
Start. It's a start.
They do sound better. They definitely re-recorded a lot of the Pokemon noise, because Pokemon will roar at you and kind of meekishly tweet at you, and like they updated that in a pretty decent way. I'm gonna give the graphics a pass. It took me a while to get over it because the first hour of the game is still the classic Pokemon tutorial where you're just mashing A.
Hmm.
But as soon as you get into the open world, as soon as you get into the open areas and start actually playing the game, and you see the Pokemon and you're interacting with them and you're hunting them and you're sneaking around to catch certain Pokemon, you really do start to forgive the graphics because it is genuinely amazing this game works. There are, let me paint it for you this way. You can attack a boulder to break the boulder open with one Pokemon, and while you're doing that, you can throw a Pokeball to start a fight with another Pokemon. So you can interact with two things at once ultimately with your team, because every time you go up to a tree that has berries in it, you want to shake them down, you call on a Pokemon to knock the tree down. A Pokemon comes out and tackles it and, falls. Same thing with rocks. That's really immersive. That makes you feel like your partners are working with you.
Mm-hmm. Granted, that doesn't sound like a big ask, but from playing Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which are remakes of, the original Diamond and Pearl games that came out on the DS, was it? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really simple concept, but I feel like these are basic things that we've been waiting on for so long that now that they're here, we're like, oh my God, they finally did it, when they could have done something like that a long time ago. But I do think it's amazing, but my question is, so far, on your opinion, what is this game bringing that would make you say this game is far and above the future, without a doubt, the future of Pokemon? Like, what is it doing that has not been done before in Pokemon that makes you excited for the future, and why it's worth playing now?
Okay. I would say this game brings to the table um, a, a, a quasi-realistic RPG experience with Pokemon. Instead of the old games where it just was by default an RPG,
Mhm.
I think this game makes you actually feel like you are playing an RPG. You are role playing as your character. You are properly interacting with the world in meaningful ways instead of just because you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think they've added boss fights to the game, which is a good step forward. It actually feels like you have to fight to survive. One of the main characters in the game, basically, when you show up in the game, so spoilers, it is an isekai. You are the character from Diamond and Pearl. You are the character you just played in Brilliant Shining Diamond and Pearl, but you have been transported.
I thought they looked similar.
Well, I mean, it's not. Yeah, they are the
I chalk
exact
it
same
up to just
character.
Pokemon shenanigans. They
Right.
didn't want to create a new model.
Pookie nanigans, yeah.
Yeah.
Story wise, it is you are the character who just beat the game in Diamond and Pearl,
I did just do that. Wow.
and now you are being transported back in time to the land 200-ish years ago. And
Okay.
things
So it
things are
wasn't an
yeah.
accident that game literally just came out. And I
Yeah,
was like, didn't I just play this? I don't feel
yeah.
the need to play this other game.
It was like a
It's
sequel
different,
to
you
the
were saying.
remake. That's
It's a sequel
hilarious.
to the remake. It's
Mhm.
it's very the story is the best a Pokemon game has had, other than Black and White 2, which I still
Oh,
maintain
really?
has the best story. But
Mm.
fun fact, the person who directed Pokemon Arceus, Kazuki oh no, uh Kazumasa Iwo. Iwao. I don't know. He directed Pokemon Black and White 2.
Oh wow.
That's
Huh.
where he got his start.
Oh wow.
He has mostly only directed the good Pokemon games. Um, and the programmer they got for the game, I don't know why they got him because he has only worked on the worst games.
Oh.
So they had like the best ideas and then some of the worst programming.
Hmm.
So that may have hurt the game a little bit. I really do. There are small complaints. First things first, like the main gameplay mechanic of the game is going around catching as many Pokemon as you can. You have to catch so many Pokemon in this game, and it doesn't really get tiring because it's not that hard. It's only hard when the game rolls a dice and chooses to have you critical fail. And then all of a sudden it becomes just a quick little, you got to put your thinking cap on and catch this Pokemon because they all act differently. There's 3 different styles the Pokemon can act in. And it's they don't care about you, they do care about you and are skittish, or they hate you and will attack you.
Okay.
And then within that, each Pokemon has a different like style of doing that. Like little Shinx will attack you like right away. It's a little tiger. It'll roar at you and
That's
fight
my
you right
favorite
away.
Pokemon.
Great.
I like Shinx.
It looks
Love
good
them.
this game. And then the battling battling trainers in this game isn't supposed to be a main thing, so it was kind of thrown in last minute, it seems, because all the animation that makes this game a little bit better than old ones, where the Pokemon actually go up and attack the other one, like you throw your Pikachu, it tackles the Trico across the way. Trico's not in this game, I know that, but um, it just goes up and runs at it and tackles it. And in trainer battles, it's the old way where the Pokemon just sort of move in place. It's like they just
Oh,
forgot to
okay.
add the animations between the attacks, but wild battles, you attack physically and it looks really cool. Like the battles work and you can run around while you're in battles. You're not locked in one place. You can run around to see different angles of the battle going on.
You can do little coaching,
Yeah,
class, like
yeah, yeah.
route, walk around
You can't do that. That would be cool. That will
one
be
day.
something they add. They do have that in old Pokemon games, so that will be something they add one day to these games, 100%. Um, the world is a little empty. The world is a little bit empty, I would say. But then again, Breath of the Wilds was too when you kind of really break it down. It was pretty
But
empty.
It was
but
empty,
it was
but it was
beautiful.
filled. It was beautiful, and it was filled with great architecture, like gaming architecture.
Right.
Like a
Now,
lot of trees, a lot of like it was like they did things to hide the fact that it was so empty.
how they get around that in Pokemon is by having lots of Pokemon in it. It is empty besides the Pokemon, and that's something I really like is how the Pokemon are just sort of dispersed around the map. You can't really, I mean, you can look up game codes and stuff to find out where each Pokemon is, when, where, why, and how, but that's not fun. I'll be honest, I found some really rare Pokemon already, and it only like 2 or 3, but each of them I found like by accident. I was like, holy shit. I have to catch that. I have to have that.
Gotta
And I
catch 'em
went out
all.
of my way. Like one of the
I
Pokemon was like 20 levels higher than me, and I was
and
able
you
to
caught it?
squeak by, and I was able to catch it. I
Oh
won't
wow.
listen to me. It's too strong to listen to me. But in like one more rank, if I rank up one more time, it'll start listening to me.
I do
So
imagine just having the ability to see the Pokemon because they're out at all times, right? It's not a wild grass
yep,
random encounter deal where you don't know what Pokemon is there, right?
you can see them forever, and the further back you go, the slower the frame rate gets, but you can still see them.
And that's new to Pokemon, right?
Technically, it was in the last game, Sword and Shield, but kind of as a test. It was more of a let's see if we can put Pokemon in the wild area, and have you interact with them over screen. It was also in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. This game is basically a sequel to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, but it cuts out all the nonsense of Pikachu and Eevee. Basically, because you are just catching Pokemon. That's what you're doing. Same goal as Pokemon Go. Catch as many Pokemon as you can, but this time it feels worthwhile.
Mm.
Because your traversal where you can go on the map is based off of your ranking with the guild you're working with. And that you have to level up your rank, you have to complete a certain number of Pokedex entries. Pokedex entries don't just take you catching one Pokemon. You've got to catch 25 Bidoof. You've got to catch at least some of them have to be fat, some of them have to be thin. Some of them have to be some of them have to attack with a certain move. You have to see Pokemon use moves to verify that they do them. So
In the
there's a
wild, you
in
mean?
the
Or can you catch one
you
and then
you
like
can catch
use the
one
move
and
yourself?
use it that way too. But you can also
Okay.
just see them in the wild do it.
Huh.
As long as you see that Pokemon do this thing a certain number of times, it levels you up in your rank.
Wait a second.
Um,
Do wild Pokemon fight each other in the wild
I don't think so. I
randomly?
haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
Multiple Pokemon will
I
gang
think
up
that
on
was
you
cool.
though.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, that's something that's been
In the
kind of fun
wild?
in the wild. So if
Huh.
you're sneaking around and let's say you're walking through a little forest area and there's a bunch of Pokemon around and there's a couple of aggressive Pokemon that will fight you, and let's say you're sneaking up behind one and one of them notices you and starts coming at you and you start a battle with another Pokemon, both of them will kind of gang up on you.
Hmm.
And I like that.
That's awesome.
That's pretty fun.
So it's like a halfway measure in between Monster Hunter because
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff you're describing sounds like Monster Hunter. Not really the biggest fan of Monster Hunter, but I've always appreciated how
Yeah.
those games work where, you can theoretically set up the monsters to fight each other. And it doesn't seem like
Yeah.
it goes that far,
Yeah.
but it seems like a halfway measure in that, the Pokemon there is an ecosystem there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's really cool.
And the ecosystems are nicely splayed out. Like it makes sense where every Pokemon is. It really does. Yeah.
Can
That's cool.
you, when that does happen, when two gang up on you, do you throw two different Pokemon? Like,
No,
I'm guessing you can't throw out your whole arsenal of Pokemon
yeah, no,
to defend your
you can
honor.
only fight with one. So if you get in a fight with three
Yeah.
Pokemon, it's 3 against 1.
Oh
And
man.
that's actually
Oh.
another thing I would say is this is the first difficult Pokemon game. I haven't lost yet. But I have come close. I have struggled in a couple situations like it was some random wild Pokemon I wanted to catch. And it just kept one-shotting each of my Pokemon.
Were you the
And
same level?
I was technically higher level than it.
Oh,
No
okay.
man.
Huh.
It was just a stronger Pokemon. It was just it had better
Mm.
stats. And I almost blacked out, but I was like I caught it in the end, and I'm like, now I have to run all the way back to camp to heal up, and without getting in any more fights. Now there is fast travel in the game, but you unlock that after right before the first boss.
Oh,
So
Okay.
up until then, you are kind of struggling to like maintain your health because you're thrown against so many Pokemon, and some of them might be really good. And then there's alpha Pokemon, which are huge Pokemon that are much stronger than you.
Are there other
Um,
beta Pokemon?
Technically, yes, they're not named that, but there are small
Okay.
Pokemon.
It's not a
Um,
category. It's not a category, but
Not a
they're beta.
category in the game, but
Got it.
there's
Got it.
alpha Pokemon and then there's noble Pokemon, and they're the boss fights, the noble Pokemon, and that they're regular boss fights with phases. It's really cool. Um, this
Real quick question before you go on, because you mentioned having to that fast travel unlocks right before the first boss. For you, that's
yeah.
about 4 hours in. Before that point, did you feel like it was a slog running back and forth in the empty world, or did you feel like they did a good job at, whether that be having quest givers not be too far or having interesting things on the path going to and from where you were going? How'd they
I
balance that?
I think it was fine for two reasons. The two reasons are one, like I've already said, your rank depends on how many Pokemon of a certain thing you catch and how you catch them and where you catch them and what they do. So the more Pokemon you meet, the more Pokemon you pass by. So let's say you got to loop around. You go the extra loop and now you rank up like boom, like that. It's
Okay.
grinding. It's
Okay.
grinding, but it's a more immersive grinding. This is
Hmm.
I would call this a Pokemon simulator. It is simulating Pokemon.
That's a
Um,
really smart system, I guess. Since you have to catch that many Pokemon anyway, you would be stopping on the way to get the Pokemon, so your rank goes up.
And like I said, it doesn't take that long at all. It really just takes you sneaking up on a Pokemon, throwing a ball at it, and it might catch, it might not. Who knows? That's the dice roll. And then you might try to catch a Pokemon and it gets scared, runs away. You've lost that one. You might not see it again for a while. Or you're up against a Pokemon, you throw it, yeah, and it doesn't, it shakes it off and engages you in battle. And so it's usually pretty quick. A lot of the Pokemon are just going to be caught, but there's that one in a dozen that just makes your life a little bit harder. And I like that. That keeps you thinking, that keeps you involved with the game, which I've really liked so far. Secondly, I would say their crafting system. I like their crafting system. It's not like complex, it's not the most intense crafting system I've ever seen, but yeah, it's how you get Pokeballs. And you need a lot of Pokeballs in
You
this
can't
game.
just
So
buy them at the Pokemart?
you can,
World's
but
first
Is,
Pokemart?
is there a Pokemart in like?
there's a guy who
Okay,
will sell you stuff.
but
You
not
can't
Pokeballs.
No, you can buy Pokeballs, but it's a lot because it's a lot easier to just make them. It's a lot
Okay.
easier to just make them.
It's like you're throwing them bitches like a lot. Like in
Yeah,
some of this
Right.
gameplay, I've seen like you're just throwing them like they're Skittles.
yeah.
So I assume that making them just easier.
So scattered around the map, there are trees and rocks that are identifiable from a while away that you just have to run up to, throw your Pokemon at them, and they break, and then you get the materials for crafting. And it is technically monotonous, but why it works for me is because it is using your Pokemon, and the UI for the Pokemon screen is so useful. It's so sleek. It's just press L or R and you move from Pokemon to Pokemon. So you want you to bond a little bit more with your Stantler, you throw it out and it breaks the rock and it gets a little bit of experience points each time it breaks a rock, each time it breaks a tree.
Oh wow.
And so you do feel like you're bonding with your Pokemon while they're coming out and getting materials for you. And again, it is snappy. It is a snappy, you just throw it out, you keep running, your Pokemon breaks it, returns to you. You just keep running and you just throw your Pokemon, boom, 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 collect that, collect this, collect that, collect this. And then you get back to base camp, heal up, and then make like 50 Pokeballs. I think it's a very, very rewarding system. And you get more recipes for better items every single time you rank up. It's just there's so much I like about this game. The only downside is the graphics, and I think that's just because they put so much effort into the Pokemon, and the Pokemon look good.
Well, look, and
Um,
when it comes to Switch games, you can put that as a con for a lot
oh
of
yeah,
Switch games. So if that's
Yes.
the worst part about it, sounds like a really, really good step in the right direction. I guess one question to end it off: do you see us getting a Pokemon Pink and Green, or do you think that this is going to be the primary franchise
okay.
now?
That's a great
Here's my
question.
thought about that. Because I was looking at because Nintendo kept it under wraps. Who worked on this game? Who in Game Freak worked on this game? Everyone wanted to know because they're like, if it's this director, it's going to be shit. If it's this director, it's probably going to be good. People just wanted to know, but they kept it wrapped until the game came out. And the most surprising thing to me is that their original 3D artist, who they hired for Black and White, British guy who used to work at the game company that made Pokemon Coliseum and XD, he he's not anywhere in the credits.
Mm.
So he's
And I
working
think I
on
know
something
why.
else.
He has been designated the new Pokemon designer. He runs the team that designs the Pokemon. So
Mm.
how I think it's going to work is Pokemon's going to release a new game and then a remake and a an Arceus like game, a Legends game. I think that's going to be their pattern is new game with new Pokemon and all that stuff to, keep that ball rolling. Keep the
When you're saying new game, are you saying like Sword and Shield?
like Sword and
Or okay,
Shield, Black
okay.
and White,
Do you
X
really
and
think
Y.
they're going to go back to that?
Yes, yeah.
I don't know.
That'd be so disappointing because it
I
sounds like from everything you're
I
saying,
don't know.
they're
'Cause I
making the
feel
right
like
moves.
they have momentum with this game
They do.
in a way that they have not. Like Sword and Shield, I know reviewed well and sold
And
very
sold.
well.
Mhm.
But you could tell the fan reception to that game was not near what this is going to be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
But
I think that it's a mistake to
yeah.
go back to that original. I feel like you're gonna obviously get some fans because you even said it yourself. There are gonna be some fans that don't like this new approach.
Mm-mm.
You don't think so
Do you
anymore?
still feel that way now that you played it?
Yes.
So they
So-
won't like this new approach.
So you
Okay.
think that because there's gonna be those fans, they're gonna have to make a Pokemon Pink and Green.
Standard Pokemon.
Well, I think what they're going to do with the new Pokemon games is that they're going to use this as a template, which they've done before. Whenever they make a good game, they tend to use it as the template. Like look at Ruby and Sapphire. They used that as a template for like 6 years because it was so good.
Mhm.
They kind of just like X and Y, not the best games, but very very well received, and they used that as a template up until now.
Mhm.
So every single Pokemon game we've seen so far has its architecture in X and Y, which is like a 15-year-old DS game.
God, yeah, you're right.
I know it's crazy, but I think they're going to use this game as a template for the next games. Not the same engine, not all that, but they're going to use it as a jumping off point to make the next Pokemon Sword and Shield or whatever the next game is. Pokemon
So you think it's gonna have
Tissue.
more gameplay mechanics that are similar
Yes.
to this?
Yeah.
Because I know just
Okay.
little things because I watched
Hmm.
my friend play it today. He showed me like maybe an hour of it. And the one thing that I thought was interesting is you can control when the Pokemon evolves.
Yes, that's
And
really cool.
and you can control like when they learn moves.
Yeah.
And I think stuff like that, and also just the real time where you're always controlling the trainer.
Yeah.
I think that's going to probably be here to stay. I don't think that's going to be locked exclusively to the Legend series.
I don't
Honestly,
think
you're saying everything that a Pokemon skeptic like me would want from the series. It sounds like it's going forward, and you're kind of actually selling me on this game.
Yeah.
Because I came in here and I was like, I'm not getting this. I don't think it's that good.
keep in
But
mind,
now-
I'm looking at the map. Like the map I'm in looks very small in the painting, but it's pretty big. It's each realm is pretty in depth. Like there's a lot of different areas to explore in each zone, and if it keeps the
Yeah.
momentum it has now, I'm gonna be very impressed. Now I will say, yeah, I think that a lot of the quality of life upgrades that this game brings to the series will continue on. Some of them won't, however. I guarantee some of them won't, because that's just the way Nintendo and Pokemon does stuff. They
Do you think we're ever going to get the battle screens that we've gotten for 20 something years again? Or do you think
No.
we're going to have it? It's going to be like this more.
No, actually, I do think we're going to go back to the battle screens for at least those supplementary, like, here's a new region, here's a new bunch of Pokemon stuff.
See, I disagree. I think they're going to only use those for the remakes. I think the remakes are going to be, I feel like the Diamond and Pearl remakes were the template for what they're going to do for those type of games now.
Sure.
I feel like this new because it's just, I feel like if this game becomes the highest selling Pokemon game ever, which is very possible, like it's very possible this could be because I mean, I think Sword and Shield is currently the highest selling, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's and Sword and Shield didn't have the greatest fan reception. I think this game has all the momentum in its favor to be the highest selling Pokemon game in the franchise.
Yeah. If all you're saying is we got to get over, the ugly textures, I feel like we've already for 20 years have been ignoring some, just the monotonous same exact thing. So if that's the only thing we have to get over, we can do that.
Yeah. And I think Nintendo's going to look at this game and like, we're not going to let you fuck this up. We're not going to let you go back to the other bullshit you were doing just to cut corners. Like see the success you got with this.
I could see them taking some time
to refine it
on the next one. And what I think they're going to keep doing is these prequel games. I think they're going to keep doing like these historic Pokemon games that take place 200 years before the main setting, because
in different regions.
I feel like they got, X and Y. They could make a Pokemon Legends Kalos, because that game has like a war in it. There's a war that happened 200 years ago that set everything into the motion.
So cool.
That would be awesome. That would
Can we get a Pokemon Legends Mew?
I assume so. I assume they're gonna say, "Let's go."
I feel like that's the one that would sell.
Yeah.
That would
honestly,
be the big one.
Any of them would sell, honestly. But real quick, because we do have some questions by one of our fallen Dukes. He's Cole, aka the Duke of Rock League. He's asking, is there anything else to find in the open world other than Pokemon, and are there towns?
I don't know yet. In the region I'm in right now, there are not. There are people that sometimes spawn in the game that want you to do certain things. Like you can bump into people who are like, I want a mushroom and I need a Paris. I need these Pokemon. I've always wanted to see a Wurmple. I've always wanted to see a Wurmple evolve, and you have to go do things for these people and you get items for it. I haven't come across any towns. I think there are going to be later in the game at least one hidden town that I've heard of. But other than that, there isn't much more than Pokemon to find on the routes.
So they're saving it for the second revision, the Pokemon Legends Mew. Well,
yes, yeah. Again, what I want to take away from this game is I am excited for Pokemon's future, and I think they've struck gold. I think if Pokemon keeps going like this, they are never gonna die. If they keep making games like this, but with better and better quality each time, they're gonna be shitting gold.
Can you imagine if they came out with this game and they actually came out with Breath of the Wild-esque graphics?
It'd be
like they would have already won by now.
It'd be pretty fucking amazing.
I'm gonna throw out a controversial opinion.
Oh.
I feel like this game was developed in 2002.
I mean, it kind of looks like it.
And as soon as maybe, I don't know who's the head person in charge. As soon as they saw it, they said, "Hold it! Put this in the vault until we really need it.
That's
And
true.
they
I would
really needed it.
I
Not this
would
game per se, but I refuse to believe they did not ever take influence from the anime in some of those prototypes.
I'm trying to remember what Pokemon Coliseum looked like, and
It-
I
Not
don't
like
think
this.
a
Not
lot
like
more polygonal. It was a lot.
Okay.
It was clearly an old game. This at
Okay.
least looks more modern. It looks
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
at
but
par.
the basics from Pokemon Coliseum were there,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
From what this game is, at least
Pokemon
from what I
Coliseum
understand.
is great.
That's is that a Pokemon Coliseum? Oh,
GameCube, right?
Stadium is
Stadium
64.
64.
Yes.
Coliseum is
Coliseum
GameCube.
is GameCube.
Yeah. I would say that I stand by my assumption that the problem with the animation at Game Freak is the fact that they're still learning 3D. They never hired anyone super professional to do 3D. They had 3D people who kind of had to learn it as soon as Nintendo told them you have to go 3D now. So they've kind of been struggling. Like the guy who directed the 3D programming in this game programmed the 3D programming for Pokemon Quest, which was like
Wow.
Oh.
like he didn't really have the experience. And I will also give Pokemon the credit that unlike Breath of the Wild, which has a pretty set number of assets, you got your goblins, your Grigoblins, your Goobloblins, you got all these basic enemies that you're fighting all around the map. Pokemon has in this game over 240 different Pokemon that they need to put in the game with different moves, with different animations, with different sounds. You know, they have a bunch of assets to throw in the game, and that takes up
I think
good chunk of memory.
Mario's a more apt comparison. Like Odyssey's a more apt comparison to
Odyssey's definitely much more apt.
Because Odyssey, like, there's a lot of animations going on in that game.
True, but it's
where you have a whole bunch of enemies, and then you have Mario animated as those enemies as well.
Yeah.
It's less of an open world, but it's a lot of animations going. So we've seen Switch games be able to handle it. But this is a step in the right direction. This is definitely a step in the right direction what they were doing.
What I think, I really do think that they're still struggling to understand how to compress everything properly. They don't have that knowledge because they've been working with the same technology since Red and Blue. Like they really haven't evolved that much, and now they're being forced to. So
I was just gonna say, I don't know. And I feel like this is a whole conversation. We could have a whole conversation in and of itself, and I feel like we kind of have, but it's kind of ridiculous at a certain point because you're Game Freak, but this is Pokemon, which is the most financially successful franchise in the world, like one of the most financially successful franchises, the moneymaker. So you can afford to do it. It sounds like Game Freak is more interested in, being loyal to their people who have been with them, employees who have been with them for 20 years.
Oh yeah, no, I got to give them credit for being super loyal.
Yeah,
they are
really
good, loyal.
But why can't you pull in other resources at Nintendo games that have accomplished this, that have, do a collaboration with Breath of the Wild, get them in and see how to integrate their engine and what they did to make this a success?
The answer is they don't feel like they need to.
And they don't.
And they don't.
That is the answer to the question. It, like, in a perfect world, of course they should do that. But they don't feel like they need to because the game is going to sell the same regardless.
Right. But I do hate there are YouTubers out there and like people on Twitter who will say, "Oh, I made a Pokemon game in the vein of Breath of the Wild, so Game Freak doesn't have to." And they put out a fucking video of like all the Pokemon models in like an empty field. And they're like, "Look, 3D Pokemon, I did it." I'm like, that's not, there's a lot more, it's a lot more complicated to make a game.
Intertwining systems, mechanics.
I can excuse some of the bad graphics because I do think Nintendo's still learning. I wish they would do what you're saying, Alfredo, hire someone who knows what they're doing instead of learning it. But Thomas, you're also right. They're just doing it because they have the money. Who cares? Who really cares?
They have another
Yeah.
thing in their back pocket: becoming Pokemon VTubers. Get ready for
There you
that one.
go.
No.
Get
I
ready
mean, they're
for
gonna
that
do
one.
it.
No.
Oh man,
I'm looking forward to the future.
this has been
Pokemon's
a
gonna be
great
great.
conversation. And I plan on, once I get the game, whether it's next week or a week after, we'll have a better conversation about it, because maybe we'll get Alfredo to get it, maybe we'll get Cole and Ben to get it.
I mean, you have convinced me, Clemens, to get
You
it.
convinced me too.
You
Like
did.
I thought it was more like Monster Hunter, and I don't really like Monster Hunter, but you kind of describing it to me, I'm like, oh no, it's still Pokemon.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It just is a more
it's still Pokemon.
it's
But it's
evolved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look
Yes.
at that. Look at that.
That's how we end a topic, y'all.
Yeah.
That's how we end a topic. So let's get into our next topic. And another thing that's evolved is Microsoft. Microsoft has evolved in terms of spending their money and buying up one of the biggest game developers, biggest publishers in the entire world. We talked a little bit about it last week. We had our special video about it.
On
there's been
YouTube.
some-
Check it out if
Check
you
it
haven't
out.
already.
Absolutely. But there have been some new news. And our conversation was based on the information given at the time. But since then, Sony and Phil Spencer have told us some more info. And we now know officially that Microsoft not only is seeking and has a desire to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation, but it's confirmed that the next 3 Call of Duty games are officially confirmed to come to both PlayStation and Xbox. And those games in question are 2 Call of Duty games as we normally see them, and Warzone 2. And so I guess we can kind of get into our thoughts on this. I kind of go first. This, like, as I thought about it more and more, I'm like, I do not think that there's going to be a situation where we're not getting new Call of Duty content on PlayStation every year.
So you think that even after these 3 games come out, you think that they're going to continually come out on PlayStation, even though it will be considered Xbox owned?
Yeah, I do. And I'll tell you why. This company was bought for $67.8 billion.
Something like that.
Something like that. So
Big number.
I hate
Yes,
rounding
big
it up.
number.
I hate rounding it up to 70 because we're leaving out $1 billion. You know
Okay,
what
but
I'm saying?
Microsoft can afford it, so it's 70. With taxes,
Right.
probably 70.
But you don't become a $1 trillion company by foregoing billions of dollars in sales and revenue. And that's what you would be doing if you take it off of PlayStation. Because
will they though?
Yeah,
How does that
because
work?
there's no guarantee that, because the one thing you do not want to do in this is sully the name of Call of Duty. You do not want to create bad press for Call of Duty. And because we think of Call of Duty as the highest selling game every year.
Mhm.
We don't want to change that. Like, changing that status is not in the benefit of Microsoft. And making it exclusive to Game Pass does that. Like, you're not going to generate as much money from it.
I disagree.
You're going to get more Game Pass subscribers, but you're not going to get as many people playing Call of Duty. And that is the problem to me.
I disagree because we have seen time and time and again, take for Halo, for example. So everybody's been saying, Halo's coming to Game Pass. All of Xbox's games are coming. Their first party games are coming to Game Pass.
Mhm.
Consistently, Xbox reports have come out, even though these first party games are on Game Pass, which you can just sign up for $10 or however much per month to subscribe. They're boosting their subscribers because they're getting their first party games. But surprisingly, the reports are also saying that Halo Infinite, for example, when it first came out, it is still in the top 10 of the highest selling games. So even though it's on Game Pass and you can get it on there and you don't have to buy it, people are still buying the first party games that are available on Game Pass, like Halo Infinite, and they're buying it. They're paying the $60 outright to own it.
But what Thomas is saying, and it just dawned on me, sorry.
Go for it.
Xbox can make money off of PlayStation now as well, on top of it.
They
Right.
can, but my point is, why would they do that when they can instead, after this comes out in 3 years, after they, honor their contractual obligations, after that happens, let's say, okay, Call of Duty is going to be exclusive to Xbox. Now all of the people who always buy Call of Duty, they can't get it on PlayStation, so they are forced to go out and buy an Xbox or PC and buy it through there.
But
And
we
they're going
can't.
to do it because they're buying a system specifically for Call of Duty. People buy systems specifically for Call of Duty. Like, that's a
That is
thing.
true. That is true.
That is very true, but I don't see it one to one. All the Call of Duty people are going to now drop $300 and then drop $15 a month to play Call of Duty. That's not going to
But they don't
happen.
have
Like
to.
maybe a fraction of them will.
But they don't have to because they can buy the $300 Xbox and then just buy the $60 game. They don't have to sign up for Game Pass.
Cole in chat has said agree with Alfredo on this one, and he's not saying it as a question. It is just a statement, which means we just have to agree with Alfredo. I'm sorry, Thomas. It's a command. Yeah.
It's been said.
Well,
Well, no, because you have to buy online too.
Yeah, you do, but you also have to do that for PlayStation. You have to buy PlayStation Plus in order to do multiplayer. So
Right,
it's the same
but
thing.
if you've always had PlayStation, there's no down payment of $300.
Yeah.
Right.
We're talking about an investment, because my thing is we can't act like it's gonna be one. We're not saying it's gonna be 1-to-1. Every single Call of Duty person on PlayStation is going to go to Xbox. That's not gonna happen. But not every single one.
But a lot of them
I don't even think half are gonna do that.
I do. I think you're severely underestimating the number of people who buy a console specifically for Call of Duty. Like, there are a lot of people who will buy Call of Duty, FIFA, like consoles specifically for those games, and they will follow a platform if it's only available on that platform. So I think the only option here is
I think a lot of people move on to a different game at that stage. Like,
but
if we're saying
the
it's
question is, what
exclusive,
other game is available? There is no other Call of Duty. Like, PlayStation doesn't have an answer for that, and that's what PlayStation will need to do. That will be their
my
only
thing is,
option
in
to
3
develop
years,
a
we don't know what the
competitor.
gaming landscape is going to look like, and I do believe that another developer is maybe develop something. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's their
within
only
3
option.
years, I think that's a good amount of time for somebody to say, "Oh, there's room now for a multi-platform shooter that everybody can play."
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Like somebody's gonna see that. I don't know what it's gonna be. It could be Battlefield creates a mode that's more like Call of Duty, because right now Battlefield really doesn't have that. I don't know what it's gonna be.
Hey, I mean,
but I don't think making it. I don't think Xbox is in the business of sullying the name of Call of Duty by giving it bad press, because that defeats the purpose of. Because Call of Duty is the second biggest acquisition in the I think the first is Candy Crush.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I think that's right. Yeah.
So Call of Duty would be the second biggest. You putting it exclusive on Game Pass kind of sullies it from being in that discussion for some of the biggest franchises in the world automatically, to me.
I don't know. I don't think it does,
because here's my thing. You can have your cake and eat it too. It's already going to be free on Game Pass. Mm-hmm. It's already going to have the advantage of being on Xbox and you're going to get the map packs first. You're going to get the beta. You're going to get it free. You're going to be able to play all the other Call of Duties on Game Pass. You already have such an advantage. Why are you going to cut off billions of dollars when this acquisition has to pay for itself?
Yeah, and I think
we can't just assume, oh, this is all just to do Game Pass.
I don't think it is, because like I said, they're going to buy the game. They don't have to buy Game Pass. They're going to buy the console and they're going to buy the game.
But if it's still on PlayStation, it's going to sell even better. It's just going to sell exponentially better.
Yeah. Why would you what incentive do they have to just take it off of PlayStation now?
To steal those casual gamers over from PlayStation over to Xbox.
Microsoft doesn't need to do that. That I don't think that's Microsoft's MO. I really don't think that's.
It's going to just create negative press.
I don't think it would be negative, because
it's going to definitely be negative.
Well, what's happening now is we're in the business of console exclusives. PlayStation has all these console exclusives. Microsoft, they're acquiring all of these different studios. So like, yeah, it sucks on being the actual gamers here that, oh my god, like this is exclusive. Insomniac is now a PlayStation. We can't get them on Xbox. Now we can get Bethesda games and vice versa. It sucks on our end, but at the end of the day, like this is what both PlayStation and Xbox have been doing for years and are going to, I think, are going to continue to do.
But I don't think it's a fair comparison to compare Insomniac and compare Bethesda to this. I don't think it's a fair thing because when it comes to we're talking about Call of Duty, that is exclusively a multiplayer game. When we're talking about stuff like Bethesda, those are single player games. So there's community there in terms of like, people playing it, but nobody's interacting with each other in the same way as Call of Duty is. Like you're literally destroying the multiplayer community that only play on PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, here's what you do then. Here's what you do. Instead of just going up balls to the wall, all in, every single one is on both. Either you release the next 3 and see if it's monetarily beneficial for you to keep it on PlayStation, which I'm sure they're testing. I'm sure they're looking into that. Yep. Or B, make it exclusive on Xbox first. Because there's plenty of people out there who want to be first. So timed exclusives would work perfectly. You have it come out on Xbox first, and then like a month later it comes out on PlayStation.
Because I don't
think the assumption. I just don't think the assumption that everybody's going to buy an Xbox. That's not financially a situation that everybody can really do.
Right, especially if we're going to go to war with Russia.
Yeah, right. That's another conversation for another day.
That's fair, yeah.
Like, I think that the assumption that it's 1-to-1 is just not. Like, it's. No. I think even half is being generous. Because people are not like we can't even find a PlayStation 5 right now. Maybe that'll change. Maybe that'll change.
Find an Xbox.
You can find an Xbox, of course. But like, I don't even know how long these Call of Duty games. Like, I would assume the next 3 are all going to be PS4, PS5.
Sure, but that does make me think. Because Cole's in the chat saying exclusivity is everything. Honestly, would it be not better for Xbox to just make it 100% exclusive in the end?
That's what I've been saying.
Because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, if you want to shut Sony down and just demolish them, which right now I'm feeling like Xbox, Microsoft, they've got the ability
to
just
roll.
Destroy Sony. Like, why not? If you take all their games.
What do they have? Sony doesn't have a response to this. So what would their move be? Yeah, a third party developer could come along and make the next Call of Duty, but Call of Duty has such power to it in and of itself that like people aren't just gonna drop out for no reason. Like,
but
people are gonna flock to Call of Duty.
But why take away its power? Because its power is one of the most accessible games. Like, why would you take that away? Like, you're taking away one of the things that makes, because Call of Duty's not a critical darling or anything like that. Call of Duty's whole thing is it's the one game that never dies, while like in terms of the yearly installments. Because the one thing with multiplayer games that get a little like stale is their player count goes down. The whole thing is especially not as crossplay. It's all one big ecosystem now. No. I don't see the benefit of just making it exclusive for Call. Like, do I think Xbox benefits? Sure, because Game Pass.
That's what I'm saying.
But we're talking about Activision too. Like, Activision is still its own individual company. It is under Xbox now. It is under Microsoft, but it's still its own individual company.
Like, I'd love to live in a utopia where games come out on every console. That would be astonishing. But
never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen. But if this happens, if Call of Duty was shared between PlayStation and Xbox for platforms you could play it on, that would be groundbreaking. Not in a million years. When I see the bottom of the screen, the next 3 Call of Duty games are officially confirmed to come to PlayStation and Xbox, not in a million. You go back to me when I was 13, I would never have believed that. Not ever. So we're already we're in some strange waters right now.
It's
Mhm.
definitely a
are-
possibility. I'm not gonna act like it's not.
Yeah.
But I don't see why Xbox would even open it up for some EA to make Duty of Call with the same exact gameplay of Call of Duty, and then may make it exclusive for all, not even not exclusive, make it for all systems. And then that replaces it. Now, the big appeal of Call of Duty from a investing standpoint is gone.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Like, it
But-
doesn't make
but
any sense
what
to
is-
me. Like, the big appeal, like why they bought Call of Duty is it's the most profitable franchise in the industry
Right.
besides
Yeah.
Fortnite. Why take that away? It's honest like Minecraft. It's the same thing as
But I
Minecraft.
don't
Like, why would
understand.
why
I
would
don't
you take
understand.
Minecraft away
But I
from
don't
all the
understand.
consoles?
That's fair.
Actually,
but,
yeah, that's a great comparison. Is
Like,
Minecraft.
there's no incentive. There's no incentive to do it. You can, of course, you can,
Mhm.
but why?
You're still making that money.
One of the reasons why, so two things. At the end of the day, I do think is exactly what Clems were saying earlier, and that's at the end of the day, they're going to look at the numbers and see what's most beneficial to them.
Yeah,
At
I
the
think
end,
they haven't made a decision yet. To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a decision either way.
But it is a little weird, having Phil Spencer come out and, do that tightrope kind of dance and say the public, very, lawyer talk, speak and say, we're going to honor the contractual agreements that we've made. And now saying, okay, yes, these three are confirmed. We're not saying that, Call of Duty will always be on PlayStation. They didn't even have to say that for Minecraft
Right.
at all. It was just coming to PlayStation at all. But we're having this discussion because it's a very real possibility because Xbox is tiptoeing around this dance.
Like,
Not saying if they will, not saying if they won't, but coming out and saying, okay, these three games specifically are coming to PlayStation, but the future of Call of Duty franchise is in question. I feel like that does say a lot in and of itself.
but I feel
that-
I feel like what you're missing, what I'm saying is there's a big appeal to having it on PlayStation.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah,
you can
yeah.
get both. You can literally advertise it on Xbox while you still have it on PlayStation. Because if
Mhm.
it's a lesser experience on PlayStation, then it's going to incentivize people. Oh, I should get the Xbox version.
And they still make money off that.
So you're
And
gonna
it-
make
it's
this.
a
You're gonna get
win-win-win.
$70 purchase off of the PlayStation user, and then they're gonna be like, "Well, damn! Like they get the beta first, they get this first, they get that first. I'm gonna get it on Xbox too. I'm gonna buy an Xbox." You literally get both. Like, why cut off one when
I
you can just
mean,
get both?
Because at the end of the day, it gives Microsoft more power and it shuts down.
They already
Sony.
have
But
all the power.
This would be a different discussion. This would be a different discussion if we were talking about like Ape Escape. If we were talking about Ape Escape, if Xbox bought Ape Escape and said we're only putting this on Xbox, that makes sense.
Perfect sense.
That makes perfect sense.
Hell,
Why not?
Starfield,
Yeah,
perfect
yeah.
sense.
Mhm.
Like literally perfect sense. It's a single player game. There's no community around it.
Right.
It makes perfect sense. But when you're talking about a multiplayer game,
Yeah.
like that's why I think Minecraft is the best comparison for it.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Like there's no incentive. Like you are doing Minecraft itself a disservice. You might be doing Xbox a service by putting it on.
But Minecraft isn't a great example because people aren't buying consoles specifically for Minecraft. Is the thing. They are for Call of Duty.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know the community of Minecraft like that. So I don't know what I don't know what those people.
I mean, I
obsessive.
believe it's primarily on PC. I could be
Yeah.
wrong, but
It is primarily on PC, but it's available on Switch, on PlayStation, and on Xbox.
It
and
is.
there's if you want to play it on any of those, you can. That's
But
great.
they're
That's,
very big. They're hugely different things. Call
How?
of Duty.
They're
is
both
so-
community-based games.
They are, but Call of Duty and Minecraft. I'm sorry, they just are not the same. They're not the same. Call of Duty.
They're more the same than you're giving them credit for because they're
think-
both community-based games.
I
Yeah.
understand,
that
but
are
one
that are
drives
valued.
sales. One drives sales, and the other one doesn't. That's why
Minecraft
Microsoft
makes a lot of
bought
money.
it.
Minecraft makes a lot
It
of money.
does, but yeah, my original statement: people are not buying.
Like you
consoles
buy
for
Minecraft because of the value of the IP.
Right. And you know what? Xbox still has a case to make. Even if it's on both systems, it can still say, well, you do get Game Pass with it. If you haven't gotten Game Pass yet and you want to play Call of Duty, get an Xbox, you get a shit ton of games as well. Like that's a huge incentive.
Now, do I think Call of Duty campaigns can be exclusive to Xbox? Sure. I think that's all
That'd
fair
be
game.
interesting.
I think that's all fair game. But I do believe that they're going to always have that multiplayer on both systems because it doesn't do them any. Because one thing you always know, Warzone's always going to be on PlayStation.
And Warzone 2.
And Warzone 2 is always going to be on PlayStation. I feel like the multiplayer is always going to be on PlayStation. But think about from a value perspective. You get Call of Duty campaign, Call of Duty zombies, Call of Duty Warzone, Call of Duty multiplayer, Game Pass for free every year, as opposed to just getting the multiplayer and Warzone on PlayStation for $70.
Right, but if you still
Xbox
have the PlayStation,
is already winning from just that, and you're gonna get the sales from PlayStation.
Yeah,
but
like they're in the business of making money
farther,
because you're gonna lose out on the billions of dollars. Like
okay,
that billions of dollars is gone now.
So that said, I will agree with Alfred on one thing because I was just mind thinking with my brain. If you Thomas, like you said earlier, if they make Bad Blood, if they make a PR nightmare for Sony because of this, that could turn off a lot of people from even playing it ever again. They'll be like, "Oh, this is stinky. I hate the corporate elites. I hate Xbox. I hate Microsoft."
But that hasn't stopped anybody from buying anything else.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Is people
we've never had a situation like this though. Like,
no.
Like, I don't think we can compare this to any situation that's ever happened in gaming.
I think at the end of the day, the people who would buy it on PlayStation or have a PlayStation to play Call of Duty will begrudgingly get an Xbox.
Yep.
I think a fair amount of them will.
For Xbox.
Yeah. I think a fair amount of them will, but I think Xbox is all like I believe after 3 years, it's very possible we have an Xbox Game Pass app on PlayStation. Like that is just as possible too.
Crazy.
So, it's crazy too, but I think that has a better chance of happening than them going exclusive fully with Xbox. Like I just think that because to me, they're gonna have to like that's why I feel like the conversations are right now of what can we do to get Xbox Game Pass on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because this is how we're going to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation hardware.
Honestly, yeah, because Sony really only has a couple options, and one of them is that accept Game Pass on PlayStation to develop a new Call of Duty competitor specifically for PlayStation.
I don't think they need to do that. I think there's going to be a third-party game that takes advantage of this. Like I just know there's like it's a big if they're really thinking about doing this exclusivity, EA is salivating. Like, oh, we can take over this market. That because they're already millions of PlayStation 5s, hundreds of millions of PlayStation 4s. Mm-hmm. Some company is going to say, oh, we're tapping into this.
But on Sony's side, wouldn't you think, okay, we also have the opportunity. This is a possibility because they don't know exactly. They're trying to figure out what Xbox is going to do as well. So I would be shocked if they weren't thinking, okay, we need to actually develop our own first party shooter. Hey, we have Medal of Honor. Why don't we try to revive that and make that a thing? Because that was
they don't own that.
Oh, do they not?
That's EA.
Okay. Well, maybe
right. EA could do that. Like I think that like I don't think Microsoft wants to sully the name of Call of Duty in any way. Like I don't think that is smart of them to do. Like Call of Duty is Call of Duty because it sells the most every single year. Mm-hmm. Like why take that away from it?
I think
and just turn it into another Xbox game. Like why turn into another Xbox game?
I don't think it would be another Xbox
to win over the
game.
market. To win over the market.
Yeah.
They would. I mean, in reality, like stinky, dirty, gross business people, like they're gonna slime their way into trying to crush Sony. That's the reality. I'd love it if it was on both. But
I think truth be told, I don't care because I don't play them. So it's like it's not like I don't have an interest. I have both consoles, but even then, I'm not going to play Call of Duty on either. So it's not like I really care per se what happens. But I just from a Microsoft standpoint, I don't see why you pay that amount of money to potentially sully the name of Call of Duty. Like that to me, it's like, and they don't make Windows phones anymore. That'd be like, all right, we're getting Candy Crush and we're gonna put it exclusively on Microsoft phones. Why? Why?
I think the saddest thing
that would
about this
go well.
That would go horrible.
conversation is
would go
that
well.
Candy Crush is bigger than Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Though
sad.
there is another game that we haven't talked about that nobody's really talking about actually that's affected by this. And that's Overwatch 2. What happens there?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's in the same situation.
That's gonna come out on everything.
Yeah, that's for sure on everything.
Yeah, I think
Overwatch isn't a system seller.
Like that's gonna come out on the Switch. Like,
yeah, it will.
Is Overwatch on the Switch right now?
Yeah,
It sure is.
That's how I play it.
It must not run well.
It's got that isometric. You can tilt your Switch to control the little hamster wrecking ball.
Good for the people.
It works pretty well. Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting. Because I could see that one being exclusive. I can definitely see that one being exclusive because I don't know.
Same thing you're saying though.
How many
culture?
I feel like because Overwatch, I don't know the ratio of players, but I feel like that's mostly a PC game.
I think it is.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's to me the core difference between that and Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, if it was on the PC, it would be a PC game. Like
Call of Duty is, I believe, 60% PlayStation and then like 20% between the rest of them. So it's like that's why I'm like, I just don't see them sacrificing probably about 30% of their player base. Because that equates to billions of dollars.
Easily, if they make this move, easily transform PlayStation players, some of the PlayStation players in quotes, into Xbox players.
We'll see.
And I think that's a win for them.
30% is a lot of money. It's a lot of money gone. And you don't become $1 trillion company sacrificing that many people.
Hey, use that Game Pass money. They're thriving with their 25 million subscribers. That money's got to go somewhere.
Well, at some point, you're going to reach a cap of how many subscribers you can get, though.
Yeah, but that money is continually
Netflix kind of going through that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these streaming companies, like I feel like Microsoft is smart enough to know that there is a cap as to how many subscribers can subscribe to this realistically.
Mm-hmm.
It's already the best deal in gaming. Like, and I know
it really is.
Netflix is like the one thing about Netflix I've studied is their highest content is like their licensed stuff, the stuff that they don't make original.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Like Friends,
that makes sense.
Stuff like that. And all that is
original. They're starting.
Yeah, but numbers wise, it's nowhere near. Like when The Office was on there, that was the hot number one every single year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they are starting to understand that, we can't really have this licensed stuff that we don't own on here anymore. So that's why Xbox is kind of making moves to gather all of these, all of these different developers so they can make exclusive stuff on there.
I mean, it was a big deal when Seinfeld came to Netflix after The Office left, and it was demolished by Squid Game. So there is always that.
That's true.
That option.
But I feel like Squid Game is something that's like the hot. Like they always have a hotness of the month.
Yeah,
but then when you look at the yearly numbers,
Seinfeld's going to be huge.
Yeah, Seinfeld's going to be number one. Like Seinfeld might have lost for a month,
but
I love Squid Game. I saw it one time and I'm done.
Yeah,
people watch Seinfeld in the background.
Yeah.
So it's just a little different. So I think Microsoft is looking at the lessons of Netflix, looking at Disney Plus, looking at all these, and they're like, we need to move smart because there is only a certain amount of subscribers we can possibly get. I don't know if that number is 100. I don't know if it's 200 million, but you're not going to get everybody subscribing to this thing. No. You get people who leave too. So, we'll see.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Microsoft to acquire Netflix.
Any day now. Wouldn't be shocked.
They make us all slaves. They acquire us.
Hey, just flash me some money.
Oh my goodness. Last topic. Let's end off on a high-flying note, a stargazing note. So Respawn has officially announced that they're going to be working on 3 Call of Duty games.
Call of Duty games.
We talked so much about Call of Duty. Let me purge it from my mind. Star Wars games. So they are. And so they've been responsible for, to me, one of the best Star Wars games of all time, Jedi Fallen Order. I had a blast with that game.
Yeah.
And they're developing the sequel to that, hopefully due out this year. We don't have much information about
Fingers
it.
crossed.
Yeah, I think that's going to easily fall into 2023, but we'll see. So they're going to be developing that and 2 more, which I assume at the very minimum, one of those is going to be a shooter.
Yeah, I believe a couple of different articles that have come out have mentioned that one, they're doing a sequel to Fallen Order, and they're also doing a first-person shooter, and I believe they're teaming up with the team that put together, or that were former developers that did XCOM, which is interesting.
Oh, okay.
So
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I think
That'd be cool.
I think that's the potential. Just to go back to our last topic, Respawn can make a pretty good fucking shooter. Do we really like if they released a very good Call of Duty shooter?
Yeah.
That might be PlayStation's answer to the Call of
they
Duty conundrum right there.
Hey,
well, they
I
tried, right? They already tried with Titanfall. And that didn't
Titanfall
go
don't
very
have
well.
Star Wars name brand.
no.
Oh, you mean
nowhere
you mean like
near.
Battlefield?
Mechanically, Titanfall was a solid game. Like mechanically, Titanfall.
So I'm
was
saying
solid.
you
Battlefront
give
is what you're
Battlefront's
talking about.
not a shooter though. Like if you play it, it is its own thing.
It's garbage.
It has its,
I did play it. It wasn't that good.
it's not that good, but you can't compare Battlefront to Call of Duty. They work
Yeah, you can't.
completely different.
Right, but
true.
I see what you're saying, because I've been thinking ever since all these Star Wars movies and TV shows have come and gone, like, damn, these suck. Star Wars could do some good video games though. They've got a lot of potential.
If you put Titanfall shooting in a Call of Duty style like arcade shooter, and then put the Star Wars branding on it, that might solve your Call of Duty problem right there.
Yeah.
PlayStation might be like, all right,
But here's the thing.
Keep it. Sully that name. Sully that franchise.
So if it is the Star Wars name, it's not Battlefront. It's like you said, Titanfall mechanics and such. Do you think they would feel pressured to input, stuff like the Force and lightsabers in it?
No.
That might make it worse.
No, I don't think they would.
You don't need it.
Because we've seen what happens with Battlefront. Like Battlefront, I'm a little higher on it than y'all, but that's what happens when you put that stuff in it. It becomes kind of a gimmick game.
Yeah.
You can't play that competitively. Like I think that it's going to be a competitive shooter. Like this could theoretically be the answer to the Call of Duty. Because I mean, you think like 3-year development cycle, that will be right on time for if you the proposed exclusivity of Call of Duty.
That's true.
And if there's any franchise that has a leg up to really get those Call of Duty numbers, it's Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah, you're right.
So
do you think it wouldn't be the Battlefront name, right? It wouldn't be Star Wars Battlefront.
I think it would be something different. I think it would be their own thing. And they would market it like a Call of Duty. So like this is if they go exclusive, like EA is going to be like, yeah, this is the replacement for your Call of Duty troubles. If you're a PlayStation user, you don't want to go to Microsoft.
Based off,
here you go.
Take notes.
Titanfall, they could do it.
This is why I don't think Call of Duty is going to go exclusive, because there's too many options from developers to swoop up that mind share. Because this is going to be a multi-platform game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like that this is the because I feel like this game's gonna come out and be successful. If you make Call of Duty exclusive, I feel like this game would do gangbusters.
I really hope that Kenichiro Yoshida is watching right now. He's in the chat. He's a little scared. He's like writing that
I said, "Oh."
He's scared. Oh no, he's scared. He's writing down notes. He's like, "That's a good idea. This is a good idea." Oh yeah. So I think.
Oh man.
So we know ish what the 2 games are. What do you guys think the 3rd game that is in development?
Dating sim.
You said the XCOM game, right?
Well, they're partnering with people so the first person shooter, they're partnering with developers who made XCOM.
Oh, the first person shooter is.
Yes.
Okay, so the third one is completely just blank slate. We don't know.
Yeah, so we
I
don't
assumed
know.
that I assumed
Yeah.
it would be a strategy game like XCOM. Because
Yeah.
you're clearing 3 boxes. You're clearing the shooter,
That
you're
would be
clearing the
cool.
strategy game, and then you have Jedi Fallen Order. That's 3 different
That'd be cool.
boxes.
I'm gonna assume it's a dating sim. It's just like a
Jar
novel.
Jar Binks on.
Jar Jar Binks, Oh, Misa, love you.
I feel like Jar Jar Binks is getting all the girls. I feel like
Really
everyone's
is.
like Alex.
Well, actually, isn't that what Marvel Midnight Suns, the XCOM Marvel game, is doing? Aren't they doing not a dating sim, but they do have a friendship kind of dating sim element to it
I
to
don't
make
know.
people's attacks more.
I-
They said that they were doing it, so it's possible.
That's
I
possible.
hope they reconsider that. That sounds like an awful idea, but
You
I
can't
didn't know that game was going to be like that. I don't know.
Well, you can't date people. They made it clear. They're like, no, you cannot date Scarlet Witch. You
Yeah,
cannot.
you're not fucking
do
the Hulk.
things. Exactly. But you can become close friends, is what they said.
As far
The
as we know,
closest of
as far as we know, you're not fucking the Hulk. As far
I
as
mean, we all know Ant-Man's been up Thanos' butt, so
Oh, whoa! I think there is room for a lot of things they could do. I mean, that's one thing, a dating sim. I think, what if they made like a Mass Effect Star Wars game?
they could do that. 100%.
Ooh.
Someone needs to do that.
Isn't that what Star Wars 1313 was supposed to be?
No,
Maybe
that was
more on
supposed
the
to be
single player, but
that was
maybe
supposed to be
not.
more of an Uncharted like game.
Uncharted.
Like
Then
Mass
why
Effect
haven't
is
they
an
done
RPG.
Mass Effect?
Well,
That's
Mass
like
Effect,
a moneymaker.
well,
Why
Mass
haven't they
Effect
done that?
was not spin-off per se, but it was like a spiritual successor to KOTOR.
No, I mean, why haven't they done your idea already? Like, why haven't they made a Star Wars Mass Effect? Like, that's just money right there.
I feel like I don't think doing that while Mass Effect was hype was an option, because then it's going to be looked at as a copy of Mass Effect.
Star Trek did it. Star Trek copied Mass Effect.
What game is
they?
that?
What
Not a game. Not a game. Star Trek Discovery. Flat out copied Mass Effect 3 story plot wise. The worst game. The
I was about
worst
to say,
story.
not
Which
the
one? The
you
third,
probably
the
should have
Andromeda?
copied.
Yeah, third one.
So they're going to other planets to,
Oh,
you
so
know.
the fourth.
Oh no, not
Mass Effect.
the fourth. No, the third
Mass Effect 3.
Mass Effect 3.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
but
not
still
Andromeda.
not the plot you want to follow.
Not the plot you want to
probably.
follow. But for Star Trek Discovery season 2, I believe it's Mass Effect.
Really?
It's just Mass Effect.
Never been a Star Trek guy. I just never.
The movies were pretty good, like the new ones with what's his face.
No, I've
What's his
seen
name?
those.
Chris
Hines. No, Chris.
Yes, Chris Pines.
Hines.
Yes, those were good.
I like the first one. The second one was
I'm a big Star Trek.
I'm not a big Benedict Cumberbatch fan. You know,
nah, fuck that guy.
Wait, he was in the second one?
Yeah, he was supposed to be
Khan.
an Indian guy.
Spoiler alert, he was Khan.
I don't know who that is, but okay.
Khan was a genetically engineered human from the 21st century. He was like a superhuman.
Okay.
Specifically, very famously, he was like, I believe he was Mexican. I believe he was Mexican.
Like canon wise, he was Mexican.
Yeah, like in this, like the guy who played him was like I don't know about I don't know which.
I'm saying, are you saying the actual character is Mexican or the actor playing? I
don't think he was Mexican. The guy who played him is some ethnicity, some native ethnicity.
Right.
And people got real pissed because it becomes part of his character in the show and the movie, his ethnicity and like where he's coming from with like wanting to destroy all humans. It kind of makes sense.
And it wasn't supposed to be that?
Well, no, it kind of works out that way, but it's just weird to have like he was famously one of the first like ethnically diverse people to play like a lead villain on TV.
Oh.
And then you put a Benedict Cumberbatch in
the
role.
whitest man in the world with the whitest name in the world.
Well, That's kind of what they did with the chosen one,
the
or I don't know her
whitest
name.
man in the
They,
world.
in one
Yes,
game,
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch. He's good
Oh
as
my
Doctor
God.
Strange. I won't
Yeah.
hold him. He's a good Doctor Strange.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
But that is the whitest comic book character as well.
It really is. It really is.
Oh man. So yeah, we have some good
Yeah.
Star. Hopefully, maybe we can. Will we get some Star Trek games, y'all?
No.
Don't we have some already?
They're all
They ain't good. They ain't good. They're not on no greatest games of all time. Let's tell you that much.
Maybe one day. There is a VR one. There's a VR.
Yes,
Star
that
Trek
one's actually pretty fun.
I did hear about it. It's when you're like you're in the ship.
You're in the
stuff.
you're in the ship.
And you have
You
a
work as
role.
one of the roles. Yeah, it's really cool. It's more of a novelty than a game. It's more of like a
Like how,
cool, neat, yeah.
Like
You
most
know
VR
what? I
games.
did play that. It reminded me of that the Batman Arkham VR game where it's like,
Oh.
this
Yeah,
is
yeah.
cool. I'm not gonna play this ever again, but this is cool.
This is cool.
Oh, that was so cool when I experienced that game for the first time, because that was one of my first VR games. I think.
Did you
I was so
experience it a
amazed.
second time?
No.
Yeah, that's the point.
Absolutely not.
That's the point. That's the
No.
point. I bought that game. God damn
I
it.
did too.
It was not that thing just sitting in my fucking library too, like
Mhm.
just collecting dust or digital.
There's a lot of
dust.
PSVR games I bought and I regretted it immediately. Looking at you, Journey to something about Robinson.
I
Y'all
hope
remember that game?
no. I hope that
Unmemorable.
when I get my PlayStation VR 2, I go back to all these games and have a good time. I really
hope
do hope.
we get some good launch PSVR 2 games is what I hope.
Me too.
So that I don't have to go back to the terrible PSVR 1 games.
Right. Now, we might do a post show talking about our upcoming war with Russia. But before that, we're going to go ahead and end the podcast. Thank you for listening or watching the Dukes of Gaming. Again, you can listen to us on your favorite podcast service. Watch us on YouTube. Leave a like, a review, a comment, anything to help support the show. Email us at therealdukesofgaming@gmail.com. Have your question read live on air. Hit the bell as well to get notifications. We post everywhere, every week. So make sure that you start your week right with the Dukes of Gaming. I bid thee farewell.